Hey everybody, welcome to Microsoft Flight Sim, another Racetracks of the World installment. It's been a couple of weeks. I did Red Bull Ring a couple of weeks ago. Kind of excited to continue to do these to sort of couple my passions of sim racing and my new passion of flight simming. I found myself weirdly addicted to this as of late. Yes, I've already spent some money and bought a throttle quadrant from Honeycomb. Hopefully those are the last dollars I spend on this hobby for a while, but I can totally see how people get into this. So today we are going to fly from the Pocono Municipal Airport in Pennsylvania to the Pocono Raceway, where yesterday I competed in the Outsider Racing League. Started 10th, finished 5th. Pretty good race. I probably had top 3 potential, but had a little bit of front end damage and ended up just not having enough speed to run outside of a direct draft. It was difficult for me to overtake people. So, all that said, it was a good fun race. Today we are going to be doing a full cold start of this aircraft. Different than the first time. I've been flying this, or variations of this airplane quite a bit. This is the Piper Aero 3. I'm in the turbo version of the Piper 3 today. It's a little bit faster, and so we're gonna go ahead and jump in and start doing our checklists and get all set up to go. One of the cool things that I did was that's okay, fuel's fine, 50%. Yeah, for the little flying around. It's only like 13 minutes southwest of where we're starting here. But what I'm going to do here is just sort of run through the pre-flight checklist and using my new Honeycomb throttle quadrant. Some of this stuff can happen off screen, but I'll try to remember to, put my camera in a place where you can see what's going on the dash here. Hide both of my yokes. I don't necessarily need them unless I want to real quickly do a free and clear check using my joystick. Checking the pedals. Of course, I can do that outside too. I've been playing with the sensitivity to try to get that dialed in. If there's anything that convinces me I should probably buy a yoke at some point, it's the sensitivity. Okay, going through the pre-flight checklist. Battery, master switch, on. Beacon, on. And you can see these switches are happening in cockpit. I'm doing those on my Bravo throttle quadrant. Landing and strobe lights on. So landing, anti-collisions, got it. Wheel and tie, excuse me, wheel chocks and tie downs. So we're going to go over here to this guy, and this tablet actually has that. I'll zoom in for you. You can see chocks, tie downs. I can also, this is kind of cool, a quick aside. This aircraft is sort of an add-on, a payware thing. I can change how it's equipped. Right, so that's kind of neat. I've been flying with modern avionics. I like the crutch, I guess. Maybe I'm being a wuss. Maybe I should learn without it, but I've been using it. Nose gear tow bar removed. It's not really applicable in the game. Engine oil door. I don't even know where that control is. I feel like I've done that before, but I'm sure it's off, so it's fine. Oil quantity, we've got our battery on, and so we're going to look over here and look at oil pressure. Turn on our... Interesting. I don't know that this aircraft is showing me that, so I'm going to leave that unchecked for the moment. Baggage door closed. Cabin door closed and latched, yes. Beacon and nav lights, they want me to turn those back off. Interesting. Landing and strobe lights off, wants me to turn that off, and it just told me to turn it on. And then battery voltage check. Yep. And battery master switch off. Okay, that's what it is. It's just sort of doing a functional check before we get rolling. Okay, so parking brake set. Yes, it is. Check. This is the before starting checklist. Circuit breakers all in. It's interesting. I haven't messed with this at all, but these are all functional. So if I click one of these circuit breakers do pop in and out, which I believe means that they actually affect the function that they're closing the circuit on. Alternate air closed, yes. Propeller RPM full forward. You can see how my throttle quadrant now allows me to play with this. So avionics all off. Fuel selector fullest tank. Let's go ahead and change our fuel selector here to the fullest tank. Check. All right, starting the engine. Throttle open 1/2 an inch. So there's our bump stop, and then bump. We'll just go up. Alternator switch on. Battery on. Beacon. Anti-collision lights on. Fuel pump, I don't have a button mapped for that, so we'll turn that on with the mouse. Check, 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 check. Mixture. Propeller is clear. Ignition start. Let's look up at our prop. Got a good spin. We'll bump this up. We'll check oil pressure. We'll look down at our throttle. We want to be around 1400 RPM. You see how I can use the combination of the prop and throttle to manipulate where my RPM ends up. So good. Oil pressure's good. Oil temperature is going to stay low for a while. We'll let that come up. Fuel selector is on engine right, or excuse me, fuel tank right. That's fine. Landing light. This is pre-taxi on radios. Let's go ahead and make sure our volume is up. Oops. Zooming mistake. This is something I miss sometimes, is getting the volume turned up. Good. Okay, you can see I've got a very loose flight plan set up where I'm just going to fly down to my waypoint, which is the racetrack. It's only, like I said, a few miles southwest of where we're starting out, and then we're going to fly back. So we'll probably look at some scenery along the way, check out what the surrounding areas of the Pocono Raceway look like, but I'm excited to goof off with it. Put our transponder on standby. Our radios are on. Our altimeter is not set yet because we have not gotten that information yet. Taxi area is clear, parking brake's clear. Okay, let's go ahead and call for clearance. I expect that we'll be taking off, I think it was runway 31. Let me double check my preparation here. Flight notes. So yeah, I expect we've got some wind. I think it was at 14 knots coming sort of out of the west. So I expect we're going to be taking off from runway 31 into the wind. But let's call for let's call ATC here. If I've got ATC, it doesn't look like it. So 2902 at 22. Interesting. 3009er. Alright, so we're going to set our altimeter to 3009er. That sort of calibrates the altimeter to the local barometric pressure, so I'm reading an accurate... Can I request pushback? I don't think I can, right? It doesn't look like it. So we'll announce taxi.
Kilo Mike Papa Oscar Traffic Piper Foxtrot Hotel 64 is taxiing to runway 31.
Yes, we are. Okay. So with that, we've already accomplished our before taxi checklist. I'll pull it back up here just in case anyway. Altimeter is set. Yes. I have not set my indicator, my planned route yet, but I am going to hand fly this, I think. We'll go ahead and we'll set our desired track though to 62. So I'm going to use my throttle quadrant over here to set the autopilot's course to, what was it, 6.2. So about there. That doesn't seem right. I'm probably doing something wrong here. That's fine. We're good to go. You know, we know exactly what we're doing. I've been struggling a little bit with understanding how some of my compass headings actually work in practical applications. So I'll try to pay close attention to that here and and learn more. Again, the whole Racetracks of the World thing is meant as a learning exercise. Let's kind of get an idea of our taxi situation here. Boy, they got me really tight. There's no pushback option, so I hope I can clip through these guys. Let's do this from outside. I'm going to go ahead and turn off my parking brake, throttle down, parking brake off, full right lock, and let's just give it a bump of throttle. I guess it just clips through those. They don't have physics. Good, because without pushback, that's a bit of a problem there, champ. All right, so where am I at? Let's go look. So what I want to do, take off. I want to get here so I can take off that away, right? So let's turn on our VFR map for the moment. All right, so I want to come out, hang a left. It looks like I'm going to back taxi a bit on the runway, turn around, and take off to the west. So we'll take that taxiway there to the left. And then turn left on Sierra here. Hold on, is this a runway? Parking brake. Brakes. Did I miss the, have I already screwed this up? Let's see here. Yeah, I sure did. Okay, we're going to spin it around, take this taxiway. That little road was a taxiway, I didn't realize. Leave the VFR map up. I thought that was just like a little scenery road for cars. There we go. Something I've been struggling with because I don't have pedals is brake mapping, and I've got to figure out a good way to do this because I'm using the throttle quadrant. I set up some Boeing levers, throttle levers as brakes, but I'm not finding it to be a very good system yet. It seems like the game sort of reverses them weirdly. Encountering some wicked resistance there. Having to yaw like a lot, almost a full yaw to the left just to drive straight here. Shouldn't be having that issue. I guess it's just a lot of crosswind. Okay, let's slow it down. Hold short. ATC. We want to depart west, please.
Kilo Mike Papa Oscar Traffic Piper Foxtrot Hotel 64 taking off runway 1 departure to the west.
Look for traffic, no traffic, so we'll release the brakes again. Taxi out east, go to the end of the runway, spin her around, and get our flaps down, and we'll go. Oh, I guess. Oh no, okay, that is just a turnaround spot. Okay, we'll apply the brakes. Check, check. Alright, position, parking brake mixture, yes. RPM lever, yes. Throttle, we will. Magnetos, vacuum, oil pressure, etc., etc., etc. Fuel pump. flaps, we'll put them down one click. Double check function. There it goes. Flaps are down. Okay, ready for takeoff.
Kilo Mike Papa Oscar Traffic Piper Foxtrot Hotel 64 taking off runway 31 departure to the west.
I really need to get some pedals, I guess. I think that's money I should spend sooner rather than later. Because look at this, like doing it with my joysticks, yaw, is just miserable. Positive rate. Trim the nose down a little bit, trim the nose down a little bit, trim the nose down a little bit, trim the nose down a little bit. I'm just going to hand fly today, I think. Throttle back a little bit. Right now we're at 2,500 feet. Probably start to level off right there. Keep it between 25 and 27 or so. Using the trim wheel on my Bravo here. So this is the Pocono area of Pennsylvania. And I'm just going to start banking here and start heading toward the racetrack. I figure we'll fly over the racetrack and see if we see any interesting scenery along the way. And if so, we'll take a gander at it, do a little sightseeing. Check our RPM. RPM's still a bit high. We're going to bring that down a notch. Mixture down just a tad, even though we're not very high. Keep it relatively high there. Oh, flaps up. I'm always forgetting flaps up. So we'll trim the nose up a little bit. 3,000 feet. Trim the nose down. Let's bank to the right here, get closer to our desired path. Again, no autopilot today. I don't know, I might use autopilot if we decided to do something else during this flight, but for the moment, no autopilot. Are there any other racetracks in the Pocono area? Anything else of interest we'd like to see in the Pocono area? Looks like houses with big plots is what it looks like. Alright, let's bank. Should not be far. We should see a big friggin' triangle. Oh, I bet you that's it right there. I bet you we're already at it. Let's bring our altitude down. Airspeed is high. We'll bring that throttle down a bit. Take a sip of scotch, says every pilot ever. It's the joys of sim racing right there. Or sim flying. Sim flying. Sim racing, sim flying. You can do it with scotch. So I figure we'll do a quick flyover and then maybe follow the circuit around, kind of talk about driving at it a little bit. Who knows? Maybe we'll land in the field, land in the infield. That'd be fun. What we got down here? Big friggin' highway, probably an interstate. Looks like the front stretch right there. Keep bringing it down. We're descending at about 500 feet per second right now. Check my 8-ball. I'm just going super fast. Let's bring the prop down. Bring everything down just a tad and see if we can level off to a slower cruising speed as we go over the racetrack and do some banks. Don't want to go too slow. We lose control authority. The ailerons and all that stuff don't do as good a job. But this is what Pocono looks like from the sky, ladies and gentlemen. There's turn 1 right there. And we're flying directly over the tunnel turn right now, and you can see the front stretch such a very long front stretch. Alright, how am I doing? I'm still descending about 1,000. Try to level off here at this speed if I can. Soon. A lot of parking facilities, looks like, in the grass. How many of you NASCAR fans out there have parked there, I wonder? Fly back around. Alright, so here we are coming over turn 1. Maybe we'll follow it around if we can. So there's the racetrack, all the lines on the road, that's kind of neat. Yep. Coming through turn 1 here where you take the low line and then you're coming up here to the tunnel turn. Some weird graphical glitches there, sort of divots in the surface. Let's go outside. Weird. Anyway, tunnel turn now. It looks way more aggressive here than it does in the sim when I'm running in the Rift. And then turn 4 where you brake. If you brake, you brake super late, like it's a really late dive, and then the very long front straight. I guess I've never noticed the huge red brick building in the middle of the infield. What's that all about? Looks like a whole office complex, a massive office complex in the inside of the racetrack. Is that really there? I've never noticed that in iRacing. Maybe it's a graphics setting I don't have turned on. Let's trim the nose up a little bit, trim the nose up a little bit, up a little bit. It's fine that we're flying low and slow, but don't want to be falling out of the sky. I first became aware of Pocono during Denny Hamlin's rookie season. So what would that have been? 2001, 2003, somewhere in that range, 2004. He was this young kid in this FedEx car, the number 11. He still races it today. And he came out of nowhere and dominated Pocono in his first race there, and like just killed the game. I think I remember him spinning out at one point too, and then recovering, and still coming back to win the race. Really impressive. I've always been a fan of his. Like I don't think I'm not like a merch buying fan of his, but I am a fan of his racecraft. I tend to like unpopular guys like him and Kyle Busch, Joey Logano, Brad Keselowski. Do another flyover here. Meow. What else we got? Is there a town near here or what, son? I guess that's where I took off from. There's the tunnel turn again. Yeah, I'm kind of disappointed in some of the rendering around these sorts of landmarks. As detailed as Microsoft Flight Simulator has proven to be and as beautiful as it is, these VFR flights over at least racetracks have been a little bit disappointing, in that they're just not as high res as I thought they would be. You fly over Manhattan or something and it's amazingly detailed. Then again, maybe that's a graphics setting. I don't have it turned up as high as I could. I have messed with the graphics settings, but then I started to have some crashes, and then brought them back down a notch. And I need to start inching them back up, I guess, and see what I can get out of it. What's this over here? With that same road? Oh yeah, it's that same road we drove over. An interstate. Camrys parked in the left lane. we're just going to fly over the Pocono region right now. You can see our airport off in the distance there, flashing green at us. Told you it wasn't a very long flight. Pretty easy. Kind of curious to fly over. This thing caught my eye, whatever this is over here, and I wanted to go see it. And then I figure we'll fly back, cruise over the town where the airport is, kind of take a look at it, and maybe then figure out our landing. I do have to say, this sim, like I've done some flights that are upwards of 2 hours long now, just sort of commuter, like you might think of them as small passenger flights, like you get in this airplane which can hold, I'll show you real fast, you know what, 2 people behind, one, so 3 passengers, and like imagine just a private little charter flight from Savannah, Georgia to Atlanta, Georgia, right? That kind of stuff. I've done that sort of stuff, and it's weirdly relaxing in a way that, of course, racing is not. Racing is rather intense, so it scratches a different itch. I can't say that I'm going to stop racing for flight simming, but I do like how it allows me to relax and be a sim nerd at the same time. That's a cool thing. I have no idea what that is. Is it like a quarry or something? What is that? Is anyone from Pocono out there in the chat wants to tell me about it? Big housing development over here. Look at this with all these spaced out houses. Well, you get a big yard, don't you? Pretty though. Very green. Flatter than I expected, but maybe that's just an aerial perception. There's our runway up there again, but we're not gonna line up for approach just yet. Even if we were, we'd be going the wrong direction. We keep cruising around. Should we go over the racetrack one more time? Over there somewhere. Let's see what this is over here to our left. Adjust our rudder trim. 5 degrees. Oh yeah, nice aggressive roll. Let's see what Pennsylvania smells like. It smells like Pennzoil. I should open the door too, because lol. Do a little exterior shots here. Top down. Very pretty. Very, very pretty. Got some cloud cover over there. I think I've got it set on live weather. Let's double check real fast. Yeah, live weather. Let's see what it's like in real time. You can see the sun reflecting off the propeller now. It's really cool. Let's trim the nose down a little bit. We're 3,500 feet. It's higher than I kind of want to be. What do we have down there? Like a big fancy house? Prepare for aggressive bank. Sightseeing bank. Is that a VOR or something? Huh, I don't know. Cruising over Pocono. Well, I don't know if that's an accurate way to say it or not. I don't. Is it a town called Pocono, or is it the name of the region? Trim down just a little bit. That's what the meow sound means. Is trim. Meow. Trim the aircraft up, trim the aircraft down, descend at a predictable rate, ascend at a predictable rate. Just a fun little VFR flight. Nowhere to go. Still ascending. Let's descend a little bit more. And this is your captain speaking. I'm going to have a swig of this scotch. It's interesting. Look at this. A little community built around a lake, and then an island in the middle of, like, dead center in a man-made kind of way, I think, in this lake. Cruise over and look at this. Houses a little more densely packed in there. Kind of getting into town, as they say. Let's go to town. That is a very rectangular lake with a very central island. Very much man-made. What's that? Is that another runway? There's always some sight to see, some curiosity to grab your attention. Tell you, I flew over the Blue Ridge Mountains a few days ago, and that was pretty stunning. Take me to church. I don't want to sing the song too much because, you know, I'm such a good singer I'll get copyright infringement. This is your captain speaking, having another swig of scotch. You are free to drink about the cabin. Nice houses right off a golf course. It's pretty. Bet you that's a nice place to live. There is a big part of me that has always wanted to just buy a nice house in a small town in a pretty setting and open a hardware store and sell some spatulas, tennis courts. I guess that's like a club for American aristocrats. Ooh, look how pretty this is. Nice visual score. Nearest airports, KMBO is where we want to go. KMBO is where we want to go. KMBO is where we want to go. KMPO is where we want to go. I should turn on my cockpit lights because I can't see them. How we doing on our altitude? Are we gonna crash into any mountains? Take me to church. Let's turn right. I think that's gonna be the way. Yeah, baby. We're banking. We're banking. We're low. We're low. We're okay, though. Don't worry about it, passengers. My dear passengers. Why you worry so much? It's not like the ground can hurt you. It's just a ground. It's just some dirt. After all, I trimmed upward. Feels a bit lower than nearest airport list, please. KMPO, please. Automated. Well, let's double check our altimeter setting.
Kilo Mike Papa Oscar automated weather observation 2000 Zulu. Wind 2902 at 22.
2902 at 22.
10. Sky condition clear. Temperature 4C dew point 10 C altimeter 3009.
009er. Yeah. You'd be correct. Let's select a runway. So my runway options there were, if I look back at my chart, I should be approaching from the east now. Sorry, my tablet awaiting it. Flight notes. I think I'll be landing on runway 31, right? If the wind is coming. Yeah, so runway 31, please. We'll announce a full stop. So the way I think this would read is, let me think, Kilo Mike Papa Oscar traffic, Piper Hotel 64 with intent to land and stop runway 31. And I'd probably announce my distance, 3 miles east, right? So something like that.
Kilo Mike Papa Oscar traffic Piper Foxtrot Hotel 64 3 miles northeast 3,100
Oh, there
feet
it is right
inbound
there.
to land runway 31.
I assume that's it right there. Should probably double check on the map. Yeah, I've been joyriding, farting around, got myself disoriented here. So see, that's runway 31 right there, the same way that I took off. So I want to fly out to this VOR kind of, and then swing around. I won't set up an approach. I'll just continue to this whole thing VOR, or VFR, excuse me. Still learning my terminology. None of it comes naturally yet. But we're going to fly out to this VOR here and swing around and then approach runway 31 for a nice, smooth, happy landing. Landings is another thing that I've struggled with a little bit, and I think again this has to do with controls to a degree because I'm using this joystick, and I'm not confident at all in its yaw sensitivities. It just never feels correct. I always feel like I'm under or overdoing stuff, and so my landings have been really sloppy. So like I think pedals is probably the next thing I need to buy when it comes to this stuff. And you know, of course, I'll probably hold out and buy the honeycomb pedals when they come out, so that I'm committing to one solution, one branding, one ecosystem, as it were. I'm really satisfied with the quality and so far, like how easy it was to set up and stuff. My honeycomb Bravo throttle quadrant. Really, really happy with it. That was 300 bucks well spent. So we flew over Pocono. We flew over some of the region. We're trimming down now, preparing to do an approach, a VFR approach, into the Pocono Regional Airport, the Kilo Mike Papa Oscar Airport here on runway 31. We'll level that off for the moment. Bring it on down a bit. See, do we have runway in sight? Take me to church. Something, 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 something. I know this song really well. It's obvious. Okay, we get turned on to final here. Oh, there's the airport right there. Okay, we definitely need to come down a lot. Let's go ahead and flaps down, landing lights on, throttle back, prop forward. Turn off our VFR map and just eyeball from here. Look at that. Look at that approach. It's I know, kid. Trim down, trim down. We're still too high, I think. Can't see the pappy. Is it the pappy lights? Is that what they're called? Pap lights? Pappy lights? Pap schmear lights? Either way, I'm feeling okay about this approach. Coming in steady. This is your captain speaking. We're on final approach, and I'm going to have another swig of scotch.
Kilo Mike Papa Oscar Traffic Piper Foxtrot Hotel 64.
Double check. Beacon lights, anti-collision lights, landing lights are on. Fuel pump does not need to be on. Throttle down. Note brakes should be disengaged. That's one of the things I'm just never comfortably secure in my knowledge. The way I've currently got brakes mapped without pedals. I need to get pedals. Let's steer right. We're a little bit left. I do not see lights. That means my glide slope is either really, really bad, or this airport just isn't equipped with them. Landing gear, that's probably a good idea. Probably should put those down. It's gonna need to bump up a little throttle to account for that. I almost landed without gear, baby. Alright, let's aim for the big white guys. Alright, we're getting close, getting close, getting close. Don't nose it into the ground, Ben. Just let it fall out of the sky. 80 knots, let it fall out of the sky. Nice. No, it was not gentle. We bounced. Bounced again a little bit. See, my landings still suck. A little bit of brake, a little bit of brake. A little bit more brake. Nice. Okay. Not a great landing, but a successful one. What are my taxi options here to get back? Okay, looks like I'm gonna have to backtrack on the taxiway, on the runway again. We'll go all the way here. I will not announce clear of runway yet until after we've backtracked around. Probably doing this wrong. Probably should have. Yeah, I bet you that's probably the right way would have been to take the first exit and to backtrack from here instead. Probably going the wrong way. Yeah, in fact, I'm sure of it. I'm going the wrong way down the taxiway right now. Okay, lesson learned. That makes sense. It makes sense. I would have designed it that way too. That way you're getting an airplane off the runway as fast as possible. So yeah, that all makes perfect sense to me. I would have done that. But for now, what we're going to do is the awesome thing of re-entering a runway without even announcing it to anybody, because, you know, no tower. I don't think the automated system has an option for this. There's not like a backtracking. Yeah, there's not like a backtracking thing here where I can say, hey, I'm backtracking on runway 31, or in this case, runway 13. Alright, start slowing down for the left up here. Let's get out here wide so we hit our apex, maintain corner speed. Got a heel toe downshift right about now. Alright, hit the apex. A little bit of brake, trail braking in. Get that apex, baby. Yeah. Where the heck am I? Oh, I just turned on the other runway. Alright. Kilo Mike Papa Oscar traffic aircraft on the runway. Back taxiing down runway 5 at full raw yaw rudder right because joystick. Need pedals. I should buy pedals. I'm gonna need to buy pedals. Here's my parking space over here, I guess. I'll do. Throttle off, prop off, fuel cut off with the mixture, and we'll also make sure that's off. Turn off our ignition. Wrong way, wrong way. Come on, mouse, work with me here. Kind of finicky there. Got to grab the top of the key. All right, we'll flip, 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 flip. All those guys are off. Throttles are off. Avionics off. And we'll put chocks and tie downs back on. We're good to go. Well, everybody, that was Racetracks of the World, Pocono Raceway in Pennsylvania, as seen from the sweet windows of a Piper Arrow 3 Turbo, as piloted by your captain, Ben Laughter. I hope everyone enjoyed. I'll catch you next time around.